Good morning. I'm going to continue reading from Jess and Layla's astronomical assignment. Dr. Goggles was still talking. Anaximander influenced another important Greek astronomer called Pythagoras, she continued, and Pythagoras believed that crystal spheres spun around Earth. The crystal spheres held the sun and moon. The crystal spheres held the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets, and he believed that when the spheres touched each other that you could hear music. Musical crystal spheres sounded pretty, thought Layla, imagining wind chimes hanging in space, chiming against each other. These two men are Aristotle and Aristarchus, said Dr. Goggles, tapping two more pictures on her interactive screen. They lived more than 100 years after Pythagoras. Aristotle was a very clever scientist who proved that Earth was a sphere, not a shape of a can of beans. However, he still believed the sun moved around the Earth, while Aristarchus thought Earth moved around the sun. Who do you think was right? Aristarchus, obviously, said Jess, rolling her eyes. Well, that sounds obvious now, said Dr. Goggles, but it wasn't so obvious 2,000 years ago, before we had the scientific knowledge we have today. The world believed Aristotle for 1,600 years until Nicholas Copernicus came along. My brother has a friend named Nicholas, called out Danny Phillips, to no one in particular. My dog's name is Copernicus, Jade Jefferson joined in, but we call him Copper for short. My dog's name is Waffles, and we call him Bad Dog for short, giggled Layla. Dr. Goggles cleared her throat, and the class quickly stopped talking about their pets. Nicholas Copernicus was born in 1473 in Poland, she said. Like Aristarchus, he believed that Earth revolved around the sun. His theory is known as heliocentrism. 100 years after Copernicus, an astronaut named Galileo tried to prove that Copernicus's ideas were correct, but Galileo was arrested in 1633 for suggesting that the Earth wasn't at the center of the universe. Layla sat up. Did he go to jail, Dr. Goggles? She asked. Not exactly, Dr. Goggles said, but after refusing to give up his beliefs, he was eventually placed under house arrest. The authorities wanted to keep a close eye on him. I'd like to be under house arrest, said Danny Phillips. Then I could watch TV all day long. They hadn't invented TV in 1633, Danny, said Jess, rolling her eyes at Layla. Just then, the bell rang. Right before you go, homework time, said Dr. Goggles, and everyone in the class groaned. Ignoring the groans, she began. I want you to imagine what would happen if all of the astronomers we have talked about today got together for a dinner party. What would they argue about? Would they make friends with each other? And would they learn anything new? What do you think they would say if you told them what we know about their theories? I'd like you to write one page about this, and you can work in pairs if you'd like. Now off you go. I'll see you next week. That's it for today.